Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Faithful Fridays. What a blessing it is to be alive and well and here to jump on and join you on this Faithful Friday. It has been an absolutely phenomenal week. This week just started off on a good note. We started off Monday, April 1st. Not only was it April 1st, it was a new quarter. We're in the second quarter of 2024. If there's some things that you promised yourself that you needed to get done and you have not had a chance to do it, the time to start is now. This past weekend for me, it was a phenomenal weekend. Got a chance to see some family, got a chance to run into some old friends, dinner with family, had some family come in from out of town. The weekend couldn't have been any better. And so I was happy to start my week. I was ready to get back into the routine of commanding my morning, working out, making sure that I was exercising my boundaries. This week for me was really full. Just a lot of things were going on in the world, lots of things to contemplate about and think about and really start to take serious. I know for me, midweek, it just kind of hit that we are in a state of emergency. And if there was ever a time that we needed to pray, the time is now. I think I posted a couple weeks ago in my story that, the world can move in many different directions. But as for me and my household, we're going to believe in God. And that is who I serve. I serve God. I am not ashamed about it. I'm happy to serve God. He has been so good to me. He has been faithful. He makes sure that my needs are met, that I don't lose my mind in a lot of the things that I do go through. He's just been too good for me to deny him. I will continue to scream to the rooftops. God is good. As this week started off, it was all about what am I going to focus on? What are some of the things that I really need to be tuned in about when it comes to just growing? And one of the things that immediately hit was fixed mindsets versus growth mindsets. I know when we begin to look at the growth mindsets, these are usually when people have accepted they want to have a growth mindsets. They see their abilities, their talents, their skills. They look at the relationships that are around them. They also know what their potential is. They know where they're at today. It's a starting place, but it's not the finish line. They're always dreaming. They're always going after another goal. And I said, Lord, that's how I want to be. I want to have a growth mindset. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to go after those things that you have purpose for me to do in this earth. Why? Because I know that I'm not here by accident. God had a plan for me even before I was born. And so I've got to continue to be diligent about those things that he has purposed over my life. I want my name to be associated with good things. And so I ask God constantly to guard me against greed, guard me against discouragement, guard me against sabotage. That's when we say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I want to be guarded against all of those things because I don't want to make anything that I have been blessed with in this life, that I'm fortunate to achieve in this life, to become an idol in my life. I want to enjoy what I'm blessed with, but I don't want to make a God out of it. And that's for real. Like that's for real for me. I welcome opportunities to grow and mature, but I want my actions to be in sync with God's will. I don't want anything that he does not have willed for my life. And, if you're a believer, I want you to start to think about some of those things. A lot of things, when we want them in life, we have to ask if it's God's will. And I always say, God, if it's not your will, don't give it to me. I don't want it to change me. I don't want it to change how I act. I don't want it to change how I treat others. A lot of times people will talk about money. And they'll say that a person has changed once they got money or maybe a bigger house or a better car. They were always who they were. It's just these things help to magnify who they become in the process. And so I don't want anything that's going to change me to the point where I'm no longer myself. I don't want to be afraid also to move beyond where I'm at. And so that means I have to remain not only confident, but humbled along the way, that I realize many may not be fortunate to be in this position that I'm in. So help me to remain grateful. Help me to remain thankful for the things that I do have and the things that I am blessed and that I'm able to do. This week, I continue to focus on boundaries. And boundaries got deep this week, y'all. One of the boundaries nuggets that I obtained was stop trying to make someone else happy. Someone else's happiness. It shouldn't be a definition of making you healthy. It shouldn't. You know, because some of us go through extremes to make other people happy, whether it's in a relationship, friendships, with your family. You go through hoops and hurdles trying to make sure somebody else is happy, and you need to make sure you're happy. I will continue to say that's self care, making sure that you're in a good space mentally, physically, financially, emotionally. That is self care. Sometimes the worst kind of anger and bitterness happens when you're forced to smile on the outside while you're screaming on the inside. You're doing things that you don't even want to do. And so inside you begin to get this regret and resentment. And why? Because you're trying to make other people happy. And we've got to stop doing that. You know, we say these things as each new year comes upon us, that we're not going to put up with and what we're not going to deal with. And the things we're going to cut off. And then we go right back within weeks, maybe even a month or two, of dealing with some of the same things to make other people happy and to put a smile on their face. And inside we're screaming. Well, I don't want to scream anymore. So hopefully you don't want to scream anymore either. We're going to make us happy first, and the rest, we're just going to allow that to fit in the spaces where it works. You know, if people are constantly annoying us or frustrating us or exhausting us or running us all over the place, chances are we either don't have the right kind of people in our life, or we don't have the right kind of boundaries. And that's real. I've been there and done that, where people have annoyed me, they have frustrated me, they're running me all over the place. And for me, I didn't have the right type of boundaries in place to tell these people no. Why? Because I want to make everybody happy. Not doing that anymore. And I've lost a lot of people along the way, just by saying no. But that's okay, because the right people, the right kind of people will be lined up in due season. And God has sent some great people that definitely understand my boundaries. You know, one of the things I was faced to put into perspective for myself on this week was preparation. You know, what have I been doing to prepare for the thing that I've been declaring and believing for? Whether it's a boundary, whether it's something I want to accomplish, what am I doing to get there? I know in order to accomplish some of the things that I want to accomplish, I've got to put some boundaries in place. I had to put some boundaries in place. If I never learned to say no, there was a lot of things I just wasn't going to get done. You know, don't underestimate your strength and the power you have to change the course of your destiny. A lot of times people will think it's just too late. I've gotten older. I've got kids. My kids are grown now. But it's never too late to change the course of your life, to dream another dream and to write the goals to get there. You know, you also have to take an evaluation of your life, inventory. You have to take inventory of your life, your circumstances. You know, that's why it's good to stop and reflect on what works, what didn't work, what's working, what's not working, and do what's best for us. And sometimes doing what's best for us helps those that we are surrounded by. It really does. Remember, someone else's disappointment doesn't make us a disappointment. A lot of times they're not mad at you. They're mad at themselves for the things they didn't accomplish and the things they're not going after. So don't even get wrapped up in that. When somebody, I call it manipulation, but when someone manipulates you into feeling bad for them, or maybe what it is that they're going through, I'm going to tell you, sometimes you just got to pray for that person and keep it moving. You know, one of the messages I was listening to this week in online, ministry was, I'm not going to dim my light no more. And that was deep for me, because a lot of us do dim our light. I'm not going to dim my light anymore to make you feel good about where I'm at and what I'm doing behind the scenes to get where I want to be. I'm not going to dim my light. I'm going to remain humble, but I'm going to be confident that the time that I'm spending, and I call this in practice, that time that I'm spending in practice and getting things done, doing things on Sunday, when a lot of people are just out enjoying themselves, and I find myself ahead of things. And then, people would make me feel bad, like, oh man, you're super organized, and it looks like you got it all together. I have to do things to make sure that I am organized and that I do have some things together when it's time to walk into certain doors or move into certain realms of my life that I desire. And it's all about the choices that we make, because I will continue to say we all get the same 24 hours in a day. We all get 365 days a year, and what we do with it is totally up to us. And so you can't feel bad because you're spending your days maybe being productive and someone's not, or that you're spending your time resting and maybe someone else is not, and they make you feel bad because you're in a good mood and you're upbeat, and they say, hey, I'm tired. Then you know what, they may have to learn to get some rest, but they can't make you feel bad because you did what you had to do to make sure things were flowing correctly. We can't hold someone else's disappointment as an indication of who we are, guys. You're going to always have someone, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, and if they could have, they would have. But you continue to do what you need to do and pray. That's all you can do. Pray. If they don't have it together, that they'll get it together and that they can get in a good space as well. It is the disconnect, y'all. For most, it is the disconnect. I'm already in my disconnect. I took an early disconnect. We have to remember, if we're burning the candle at both ends, we're going to remain stressed out. We have to take time to reset, get some rest, disconnect, reflect, figure out how things are going to move and be for us progressing forward, and do what needs to be done to get where we said we want to be. If you are looking for the guys, we will be at the Indy Winners Farmers Market tomorrow. That is at 1220 Waterway Boulevard, AMP 16, from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. We look forward to seeing you if you're coming out. There's just a couple more weeks of the Winners Farmers Market before it will be officially done. So happy about that we were able to complete another season. After that, I will share where we'll be headed next. If you haven't had a chance, check out Shay Sparks. She did release another Freestyle Friday. It's a good one. I really like it. I love how she's bold, but also confident in those messages that she speaks through her song. So if you haven't had a chance, check her out. But it's the disconnect, y'all. You know the drill. I feel like I'm becoming a recorder at this point, but it helps to remind me as well. Make sure if you're out, you let your light shine. I don't care who's around. I don't care how they feel about it. Your transparency is leading to so many others being transformed. It really is. I will be back on next weekend. Again, if you're a believer, be in prayer about Monday. We don't know what this total eclipse means for us. And if you don't know what it means biblically, just begin to do some study on it. This is not a time to just pull out our glasses and be excited to be outside looking at the sky. That will be a part of it. But just make sure that you're prepared as a believer for what is to come, because we are in a state of emergency. There's just a lot going on. And if you want to keep the peace, if you want to walk in peace, you want to live in peace, you know where your peace comes from. So, yeah, it has been awesome to speak with you guys on today, and I will see you soon.